Idea with a look to come and see Jesus Christ and never seen yet. So I look if Jesus Christ go come help me. I look for Jesus Christ too. No whenever Jesus Christ I take it back from him or whatever, but just a look. Because you know call my attention to nothing. Come here, brother, saying I'm not afraid of people, you know.
I said these are some serious signs. All I can see around us is violence and crime. Full time for us.
Oh my days, what a crazy world we're living in. Whatever happened to the notion of being our brother's keeper, looking out for one another, the love, the drive that makes us human? Have you ever noticed that when you're out there you find that persons are victims of crime, whether it be serious crime, domestic abuse, persons are injured in accidents? Instead of rushing to the aids of our brothers and sisters, we tend to observe and be onlookers. Within psychology, this is described as the bystander effect. Bystander effect came about out of a tragic incident concerning an American woman in New York City by the name of Kitty Genovese. It is reported that while heading home, she was assaulted sexually just outside of her apartment and stabbed several times in the presence of 38 spectators. They were indeed her neighbors, but their inability to intrude or intervene caused the death of that woman. It's reported that just the sounds of the onlookers looking on and the lights coming from their apartments was enough to scare off the assailant, but each time he would have come back to give her a stab and give her a stab while they observed. It is reported that no one assisted and no one even reportedly contacted the police, except for one woman who, after it was found out that Miss Genovese was dead, called the authorities. Guys, this is a sad reality. And it's even more sad that this happened in 1964 and is still a product of today's society. And psychologists posit that there are two factors which causes the bystander effect. There is the perceived notion of the diffusion of responsibility, which really and truly says that the more persons they are, the less likely that a person will step in to assist. That's crazy, right? There's also social influences. And it says that if I'm there amongst other persons and I see that no one is taking any initiative, then it's as if there's a collective consciousness to say that no initiative should be taken. Even if deep down in myself, I feel need to assist.
Hi, my name is Dacia. I am a student at Sherwood Teachers College. Since I'm trained in basic first aid and CPR, I would provide my assistance at the scene of an accident. Conversely, if there is a large crowd present at the scene of the accident, I would still want to assist, but I would be a bit hesitant depending on a variety of considerations.
Hi, my name is Sashay Williams. If I'm the only bystander on a scene and someone needs my assistance, I'd give them. Because just I would want someone to assist me in times of need, someone needs my assistance.
So in the case of an accident, I think I would render assistance to the victim or victims, not only because innately I would want to do so when someone is in danger, I would want to, assist them in any way I can, but also because it is my professional duty to do so. As a police officer who is trained, naturally I would have to respond to any instance like this. Once there is something that I can do, I will do, because whether I'm on or off duty, those training applies, or that instinct to help or to assist or to do whatever I can will still apply.
Okay, so that we're back, we're going to talk about some psychological perspectives and how they will give us a better picture and understanding the bystander effect. The first of which we're going to talk about is Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory. And we're going to talk about the 3 levels of consciousness. But before we go there, we're going to talk about the premise of this theory, which speaks that our conscious behavior is widely manipulated by a subconscious state of mind. When it comes down to the three levels of consciousness, we're talking about the id, the ego, and the superego. And notice that I did this, and I did this. And this is to paint a picture of what would be the devil on your shoulder. That would be the id. And the id, seeing that accident or that person being victim of crimes, would have said that this is not our problem. We should walk away. Think about yourself. Self-preservation comes first. Let's walk away. The superego would have been that angel on your shoulder to say that, hey, it's morally wrong to walk away when someone is in need. Society expects better. If that were me, I would need some assistance. Let me give some assistance. And then the ego, which is self, comes to formulate a plan to satisfy the id, as also satisfying the superego, finding that balance, to not be selfish, to not be overly self-righteous or be overly exuberant, but to find some level of balance to say that, okay, that person needs my assistance. Let me first exercise some level of risk assessment before I assist. Let me see if there's someone else that is capable. Let me be a coordinator. Let me call the police. I don't have to be physically involved. But unfortunately, the reality is that persons more go with the selfish needs of the id, and that is to walk away and preserve their own life. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the behavioralist perspective, and this for me encapsulates the bystander effect widely, because the bystander effect is based on two factors: the perceived diffusion of responsibility, which speaks to the fact that the more persons are there, the less likely a person will feel to assist. It speaks to social influences. It's as if there is this unspoken language within the atmosphere, within the environment, to say that we're looking on others to see what decisions to make. So if no one acts, then no one feels the desire to act. It's as if there is this collective consciousness amongst the audience to say that we're not taking a stance against this. We're not making any decision where this is concerned. We're going to move and keep moving, or we're going to observe to see what's going on, even if it's not said. And the strange thing about it is that it also impacts a person's decision, even if morally they know it's wrong. Even if instinctively they wanted to step in and make a difference, but they're pressured by the environmental factors around them to make a decision that they themselves did not see to be favorable. Now, from a humanistic standpoint, it promotes the idea that people are naturally good. And in an article published by Carlos Martin and Busquets, all psychologists, they state that people are driven by their desire for love, satisfaction, happiness, and a sense of fulfillment. Now, what I want to understand is that, is it that based on a societal shift in norms and values that we no longer find it fulfilling, we no longer find that it brings joy, and we no longer find that it brings happiness in assisting others? So I believe that what we should do, we should reshape the idea of what brings happiness and reintroduce how being a brother's keeper can appeal to the human being inside of us all. Now, from a cognitive perspective, it's about changing the mindset of people. And I believe that we can do this through workshops, and we're going to talk about that in a few. But the cognitive perspective states that observable behavior is not enough to understand how a person thinks, but it's also important to understand the cognitions of that person's, their emotions, the way they perceive things. And from understanding that, then you can get a true depiction of what causes them to make certain decisions. What causes a person to be an onlooker when there's a person in need. So now that we've talked about the bystander effect, the definition, the causation, we've talked about psychological perspectives on this phenomenon, we want to identify, however, that this is an epidemic within our society. And I don't know about you, but I can't live in a society where seeing and blind, hearing and deaf is the norm. And I believe that with that being said, we should be able to leverage the idea of workshops, building awareness about the bystander effect and how we can mitigate against the same. I believe that we can employ skills training, life skills training that will cause a person to be more intrigued, to be more active in giving assistance because they would have had the requisite skills to do so, to make a proper judgment call. I believe that it's imperative for our government officials to pass a law that makes it illegal to turn your backs against someone that's in need, especially someone who's the victim of a crime. In comparison, the Child Care and Protection Act states that it's illegal for you to know that a child is being abused and not report it to the police. Guys, sometimes it's as simple as making the right phone call to the necessary authority, pinching the right person, identifying that this is indeed a problem and take action. You might can't fight, you're probably not vocal, but just identifying the issue and making a change goes a long way. And that's my presentation on the bystander effect. Thank you.